Good morning, Teach Better family. Happy Monday. It is Monday, May 23rd, and this is your daily drop. And we're kicking off the week with my good friend, Dr. Dave Schmittou. Ray is still somewhere not in this country, flying around, doing all kinds of cool stuff. So Dave and I are taking over this morning. We hope you're joining us. If you are here, drop in the comments. Let us know what's going on this morning. Get your cup of coffee ready. I don't know if you're doing your hair, brushing your teeth, whatever. We're happy that you're listening or you're watching. Or if you're listening later on the Teach Better Talk podcast, we appreciate that as well. But we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. We're excited to be here. We got some holidays to talk about. We got good news story. We got a new theme this week. We've got a whole bunch of new guests this week. It's exciting. Dave's here. He's got his water in hand, his jug of water. No, he's drinking coffee. Ooh, we're going to get into that in about 27 seconds. We're going to talk to Dave about that. Good morning. Welcome to Daily Drop. And we are live Monday through Friday, at least for another couple weeks. Not even quite, but 2 weeks.
Getting there. Yeah.
Top story today. Dave doesn't have a jug of water next to it. Or do you? You just didn't pick it up?
Not yet. So I always do 2 cups of coffee, then I fill the water. So
which cup of coffee is primarily water anyway. So
pretty much. It's got the caffeine, which kind of dehydrates you a little bit. So then I go back and grab 128 ounces of water and start chugging. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Usually it's you pick up the jug and that's.
Well, normally when we're talking, it's brain break, and I got to show you I got that, not like a fifth of tequila.
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. Anyway, it's exciting to have you here. This is weird because normally on Mondays I come and I'm just like the attempted comedy relief. I say attempted. And Ray just runs the show.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, all week this week, Dave, I'm here every morning for Daily Drop-In. And I'm not sure if we're going to need to go for another week because I think this week will end the show based on that.
What are you gonna do for your beauty sleep? Because you need it, buddy. What are you gonna do?
Well, I'm taking the days off.
Oh, that.
So yeah, like I do this for 45 minutes to an hour, and then I'm just taking vacation the rest of the day. I figured Chad and Ray are on vacation. I'll just take vacation for the day too. Like, I mean, if they don't,
for sure,
we don't need to do anything. There's not anything that we need to get done.
However, Katie Miglin's not on vacation.
Katie Miglin is not on vacation. Katie Miglin is finishing her school year this week, though. She's got 4 days and then done.
I think we should schedule a bunch of meetings with Katie Miglin for Thursday and Friday.
We should.
Yeah,
let's see
what we can do. Yeah.
Now you are wrapping up school today with your kids. Your kids are finishing up.
Yeah, their last the last hurrah, which is random and weird and all the things. You know, I'm used to the Michigan schedule, which seems like we went to the end of June and then we started after Labor Day, and here it's not even the end of May and they're signing off and coming on home. So
does Michigan really go that far into June?
They do, yeah.
Wow. Well, in Florida though, like you guys got to get down into the beaches, like.
Well, somebody's got to go work at Disney and keep the tourists happy,
That's
right?
true. That's a good point. So all your kids are finished up to anything big and exciting going on with any of them as far as like last days of school or?
No, not.
You don't have one graduating yet, right? No.
No, my oldest is wrapping up his sophomore year.
Sophomore going to junior, yeah.
It's one of those weird things where the last week or so have just been parties and get-togethers and signing T-shirts and yearbooks. So I have no idea what's left to do today, other than spend a few hours throwing anything that you happen to find in your desk or locker still in your backpack just to bring home. I have no idea, but I know they're excited. I know they're excited to start sleeping in. And I'm excited to not have to worry about bedtimes and the morning routine and all of those things. So,
yeah, my kids still have this week and then 3 days next week, and I don't know if Jonathan will really realize that he's not going to school. He'll just play more on his Switch. Jacqueline is back and forth. We actually bought flowers yesterday for her teacher because she wanted to take her flowers this week. Jacqueline is excited, but also not excited is what she told me yesterday. She said, I'm excited, but I'm also not excited. So, because she really loves her teacher and her friend. So she's gonna miss school, but I think she'll be okay with it. She'll see more of her grandmother and cousins and stuff like that during the summer. So it's excited. What was your weekend like? So this is like, I'm like, Ray typically asks me about my weekend. I'm like, I'm gonna ask Dave about his weekend, and then I don't know where to go from here, Dave. Like, we may have to work on this.
Let me just spill the next 40 minutes talking about my weekend.
Yeah, can we just like how far? I gotta get. I think we gotta go about 20 minutes or so of your weekend, and then we can move on. So like,
we can make
really this like do that like really like like Southerners are like known for like being relaxed and kind of like they like let the sentences like slowly flow out. Like I need you to talk really like that Southern drawl.
Yes, sir. This weekend was pretty amazing.
I don't like you like that. Don't do that anymore.
Okay.
Never mind.
So we can take this old school cocktails and randomness, and we can just talk running because there was a lot of running involved this weekend.
Oh, geez, you're gonna get us in trouble.
Whatever. She's like,
no, this isn't brain break. Brain break. She's like half asleep right now. She's it's like in the afternoon.
So this weekend I went for a run. I'm starting to build my foundation back. Or I went for a couple runs and trying to build my endurance back up, and also working on the tan at the same time. 2 birds, 1 stone type of thing. But yesterday it rained all day. And I live in the Sunshine State, which I don't understand. And it's raining again right now. It's just like,
is the sun out as well, or is it just
no, it's cloudy and gross and rainy and storm. When it rains here, I mean we're talking a couple of inches of rain an hour. It's coming down. So yeah.
I had a good running weekend as well. And I can twist this into a thing that's not just about running, but really about like overcoming like mental struggles and getting back to goals and stuff, because running was something we used to talk about a lot. We used to do it because I ran all the time, and then I've had some injuries, and then it's just been a battle for the last the last year and a half, 2 years almost of just like mentally struggling to get back into the running. But I hit my longest distance this weekend that I've hit since August of last year. And like August last year I wasn't like cruising and stuff. Like it was like and it was. So that was a big weekend for me. So
what prompted you to just rip off the Band-Aid and say, I'm going to do it? I've
been back
publicly.
Yes, I've been back for the last 2-3 weeks now, back to just on a steady running where I'm the only days I'm not running are days that I choose to be a rest day where I want to rest up. And I've done a few, I've went further and further a couple of times. I've been just going really like a mile or two, like very relaxed, and then got, hit a couple 5Ks, and then, went over 4 for the first time forever, which is so weird to say because I've done a marathon before and it wasn't that long ago. And so it feels like such a small number that actually is why when I first was speaking, didn't say the number because I didn't want to say the number, but I just decided to say it. And it's been a huge struggle, but like, I'm really trying to like sort of really appreciate the overcoming of the struggle there. And I set some goals and I'm hitting them right now and feeling good about it. I see Lori's watching and she's also a runner. She says, how many miles are you up to? Fellow runner over here just started my training for a marathon. Ooh, Dave, are you training? You're not training yet.
So,
officially.
Kind of. So, my official marathon date is coming up November 7th. So the actual training plan that I'm going to be following kicks in the first week of July.
Okay.
Right now, I'm doing my own little foundational plan.
Just getting yourself,
create my baselines and stuff. So I went and did 8 on Saturday and 4 yesterday, just so I can get some splits and some times and do some bridges and stuff like that. But it was both runs just about knocked me out. The heat, the humidity, the hills.
Which you're not going to have as bad when you run, so that's good.
But I'll be doing my long runs all summer long. So I guess if I can do that, then I can hang out in New York in November and survive.
You're actually you need to figure out, you may need to come north in October you should come north and run to get used to a little bit cooler air, because it's going to be completely different air in New York in November compared to Florida.
That's true. So we should try to figure out a way for me to go for a run. May 2nd week of October or something.
I think that's what we should do. I think we should invite.
Maybe we can even bring other people with me.
I think everyone should be invited to that. So I don't know if I've even told you. Chad's aware, but I'm officially registered for my second marathon. It's not till next April. It's the same one Chad and I did for my first.
The Hall of Fame?
The Hall of Fame, the Football Hall of Fame, which is in April. It'll be April of next year. Chad just did his third marathon there in this past April. So he sent me an email that was like, I think he made a joke. I don't know, like, because they said they made the course flatter and faster. Like, it's a pretty flat course anyway. So it was kind of a fun email. And I'm like, oh, that's good enough reason for me.
Maybe he said he's flatter and faster.
Maybe that's what he said. I misinterpreted that. Anyway, so I signed up. I'm like, well, I got it. It's a year away. Like, that's a good realistic goal. I don't have to get crazy. I can just ease into it and stuff. So, that's what I'm doing now. It feels like I started all over. Like,
well, you do.
But I know,
even as veterans that are out there running 3 or 4 marathons a year, they start the training plan all over. They start.
No. I meant like run. Like I learned how to run for the first time again.
Well, you're not doing the Phoebe Buffet, are you? I mean, as long as you're not. Doing
no, like I was crawling for a while, and then my wife would be like, "Well, use the furniture, and that'll help you stand up and walk." And then she's like, "Okay, now walk to me." Like that's where I'm at. And then I slowly got to where I can run. It's been interesting. So anyway, good morning, everyone dropping in the comments. Katie's here. I see Bree. I see Adam, Lori, Patty. Lori, how many miles are you up to? You said you just started your training for your marathon, so you should be. Depends on where you started from. The start in your training, your marathon can be very, very different. So let us know when your marathon is and where it is.
Yeah,
and so we can support you. So we were joking about you running in Ohio in October, but we're not serious. We're kind of joking.
We are serious.
We're serious, right? Because the Teach Better conference is October 14th, 15th, that Friday, Saturday. I keep saying Friday, Saturday, but really, like, it starts on Thursday evening. Let's be real. We've talked about doing a run again. Last time in 2019, we did it with, Adam Welcome came out, and so Adam and Chad took everyone for a run. And it was a lot of fun. There was 15, 20 people, I think, maybe that run, maybe 10 to 15. I think this year's the same thing, and it's you and Chad take everyone for a run, maybe Friday morning and Saturday morning. You can get your miles now. Like, you guys will run, then like everybody else will stop and go to the conference, and then you'll keep running because your miles will be higher at that point. Because right, aren't you going to be at like 15?
Well, yeah, I think I told you this story before. When I was a classroom teacher, I ran my first marathon in 2005. And my 20-miler, so people that run marathons, typically you run a 20-mile training run for your longest training run before you go run 26 a couple weeks down the road. So I ran my 20-miler during the school day out on the track, and the kids all day long, and kids would come out on the track and just cheer me on and run with me. It was insane. Cool. It was cool, but it was insane running
20 miles on a track. How many laps is that? That's 80 laps.
Yeah.
When I first started running and training, it was when I was training for my first 10K. I was running at a membership at a local like health center, and it had an indoor track. But it was like it wasn't 400. It was like it was really short.
Yeah.
And it was I can't remember what I was running, but it was like 32 laps. I'm like, this is the most. This is, and you couldn't go, because you had to go the same way because walkers and stuff like that. And so, but like then you had like walkers, and you were supposed to let them know when you're coming. So it was just basically, I don't know, 30 minutes, whatever, of me every 5 to 7 seconds going on your left, on your left. And I'm like, just everyone's
to the left as you just constantly turn a circle, right?
Yeah, it's just going around. Well, nicely they switched it every day, so then you'd run to the other. But like, oh my gosh, that was terrible because it was winter. Anyway, Patty says she's starting to run again, kind of that slow and steady pace, or wins the race. But that's where I'm at. It's slow and steady. Just do you run are you going to run the Disney marathon? So one of the doctors that my wife works with at her vet they're huge Disney fans. They have timeshare and stuff, and they're running a race next weekend. That's a half to qualify for the Disney race.
So I've got it on my mind. I'm not a huge Disney person, but the race seems intriguing. They've got this thing called the Dopey Challenge. Have you heard of that?
No.
The Dopey Challenge.
Like something I'd be interested in, though.
It's a couple of days that you do a 5K and a 10K, and then a half marathon, and then the full marathon. And it's all back to back to back on consecutive days. And that sounds extremely intriguing, miserable as well.
Yeah.
But go big or go home, and not only a few people have ever done it. So
Would you dress up if you did Disney? Patty wants to know.
I don't need to. I'm already dopey. So, what would I be? Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh? I mean, I don't know.
Dave gets up to the starting line. Hey guys,
I sure don't like this running. I mean,
how far is Orlando from you? How far is Disney from you?
About 6 hour drive.
Or
it's a 40-minute plane flight. So
interesting. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that was good. We did a good job getting through the first part of this show. Our producers gonna be upset that we went to running, but hey, you go with what you know, right? So
at least we're not drinking beer yet.
At least that's true. We're not quite full brain break right now, but I'd like to think that us talking about running allows everyone to kind of turn their brain off in the morning, though, and relax. So if you got those Monday jitters, maybe our conversation helps you kind of relax a little bit, and that's really the point of this of Daily Dropping, anyways, to give you a little something to get you going, whatever you need in the morning. Maybe this morning you need a little Jeff and Day.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. So let's talk about some good news story. We got a good news story, and we've got some holidays to celebrate today as well. Let's get into that. Welcome back to Daily Dropping, where we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn Monday through Friday. And I'm sorry, I know we just passed the running thing, but then Patty brought up the Teach Better Running Club, which sort of is a thing. We've talked about it a lot. There's actually some running gear floating around on teachbetterswag.com. There is officially a Teach Better Couch Club that was started by a bunch of our ambassadors, which is their theme or their motto of we might not run, but we still have fun. So like that's an official thing that some of them have. But we've talked several times about starting and like an official run club. Maybe the conference is where we start that. I'm gonna throw that out there. Let you guys chew on that for a minute. That's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about a good news story and some holidays. Dave, you want to go into holidays first or good news?
They're kind of the same thing. Holidays make me smile, and it's good news. So interweave them. Talk about whichever one you want to. I've got things to share. So wherever you want to go.
You're the worst ever at that. Like you're supposed to give me one. What are you doing?
Let's do holidays, Jeff. That sounds great.
Morning, Carly. I see that's Carly's hand. Morning, friends, dropping on us. Happy, Dave. Happy National Taffy Day to you. Are you gonna eat some taffy today?
No.
Florida has taffy. Is Florida known for taffy? Saltwater taffy?
So when you think Florida, you think taffy? Is that what Florida's known for?
No, I think a whole bunch of other things you don't want me to say right now. But I was trying to give you a good thing of taffy.
I'm sure there are places around here that have taffy. I don't know that that's what Florida is known for, though. No.
Okay, I don't know where it comes from. Someone look up and figure out where does taffy come from? Like what's the most popular taffy state? Is it North Carolina, maybe? South Carolina? Myrtle Beach area? You saw a lot of taffy.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach. Yeah.
Saw a lot of taffy down there.
You know, something Florida might be known for, it's also National Safe Sun Week.
Safe Sun Week?
Week, not day, but week.
Week. And that is to be like to be safe in the sun? Is that what that is?
Or they're letting us know that the sun is safe.
Or is it like to celebrate your son if like you have a safe son and maybe you have a dangerous son, but like one is safe? S-U-N. Okay. S-U-N. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, which might be why it's so rainy and cloudy here this week. We're trying to
be safe from the sun.
Yes.
That makes sense. Patty thinks maybe Maryland is the one who's the taffy, which doesn't make any sense to me, but it's probably correct. Like for me, it's purely just because where I remember as a kid, where I remember, is beach boardwalk, stuff like that. So, New Jersey saltwater taffy most likely started in New Jersey, says Adam. I believe Adam. He's pretty smart. It's also.
Are you basically saying you don't believe Patty, but you believe Adam?
That's not. I believe both of them.
Okay.
Patty's answer makes sense, and I believe Adam.
Okay.
New Jersey, look it up. Patty looked it up. See, Adam was right, but Patty verified it. They both win.
There we go.
Good. I'm so proud of our community today. Our friends are doing such good work. It's also National Lucky Penny Day.
Ooh.
See a penny, pick it up all day long. You'll have good luck.
So today, can you pick up a penny that's on tails?
Pick up any penny you want.
Nice.
Just know that if you pick up one that's on tails, you'll probably have bad luck. But like you can still pick it up. Like good luck.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know. It doesn't say. It just says National Lucky Penny Day.
All right. Fair enough.
There's in the picture. There's a few that are heads up and a few that are tails up. So I don't know if that helps with it or whatever.
And today just makes every penny lucky.
Maybe that's what it is. All pennies are lucky, even if I don't know. Today's also Victoria Day up in Canada. Which
I see that on my calendar every year. I have no idea what that is.
It signifies the beginning of the summer and the arrival of their warmer, greener days. I'm trying to look, but it says much like Independence Day in the U.S., Victoria Day has more colonial roots than are usually discussed amidst the fireworks and jolly gatherings.
Jolly.
This day marks the birth of Queen Victoria, who was the ruling monarch at the time of Canada's birth as a country in 1867. So it's a day to celebrate the wonderful things that make Canada, Canada.
Okay. Sounds like a very nice day.
It is. And today is also World Turtle Day.
Ooh,
so
save a turtle. Don't speed up. Don't go past it when you see it crossing the street today. Stop and save it today.
And celebrate two animals that are associated with wisdom and perseverance: turtles and tortoises.
I thought they were going to say Jeff and Dave. Okay.
Or together, tortai. That's hard to say.
Is that really plural?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No. But I have some old friends that used to always call us like Gargases when there's more of us, the Gargai. So I do that with plural words like that sometimes. And that one didn't work well. And I'm really now regretted my decision to talk about this live.
Yeah.
On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk good news. Cool news. And it's funny because I mentioned this before we went on. You said, "Oh yeah, you had just seen that." So you already know what I'm talking about. But Google's got a new headquarters using dragon scale solar panels, which are new solar panel, to capture sunlight from all angles. So no matter where it is, it's going to pick it up versus your typical flat panels that you have to point in the most, most prevalent. Towards
the south. Towards the
south. That we do. Oh, you point it towards Florida so that it picks up all the sun. That makes sense. You guys are safe sun down there. No, but the new Google campus in California is working towards Google. Its goal is to get to 90% of their time is working off of solar powered energy, which is pretty crazy. When you
That's
think
impressive.
about it. Especially with I just guessing. I don't know for sure because I don't work for Google. Never been in a Google headquarters. Actually, I have been, but I've never been in this one. I'm guessing they have a lot of technology and power being used on a daily basis. And so to run 90% of that on solar is pretty awesome.
It's super impressive. And when you look at the pictures of the new headquarters, it looks like it's shaped like a golf ball almost. All there's like
sure does.
All over the place. It's really cool.
So they kind of they divot down and they're like rounded under. Like that's an interesting.
Concave, yeah.
Yeah. It's a big campus too. It's 42 acres. It's
42 football fields. That's huge.
The building it's two sun-drenched office buildings. They take up 1.1 million square feet, covered by 90,000 silver solar panels.
It kind of sounds like you're describing the Teach Better headquarters right now. Is it comparable to the Teach Better headquarters? What you're describing here?
Well, we actually we're in the janitor's closet in the basement floor of the Google headquarters.
Okay, you got your stapler on your desk that nobody can touch, and
yeah. And just like a single surge protector, and that's our whole thing. They're like, "There's your solar power." No, I did have a job once where my office was. I was a manager, but my office was in the boiler room.
That's amazing.
It was an old janitor closet. Janitor closet. It was a nice size, but they put a desk in there, put an old filing cabinet. I was literally, it was so hot down there because I was 30 feet from the boilers, and it was this was a big a 19 building facility, and that's where now luckily I spent almost zero time in my office. It was literally just for HR files, but just put my bag in there. I'm like, wow, this is terrible. So actually I never worked in, I never stored my bag there. I worked in a random open office that was in a really nice air conditioned stuff. But yeah, I had an office in a boiler room. I don't think I had a stapler. Didn't do that.
You were good about giving me perspective. If you're thinking about how miserable your office is or your classroom is or wherever it is that you work, I've possibly
had it worse. Don't get me wrong, it was a good job. It was fun. Anyway, let's talk. We got an interesting theme this week, but I'm excited to kind of explore it. I'm interested to get your take on it personally. So we're gonna get into our brainstorm big now. Dave, welcome back to Daily Dropping.
Hello, sir.
So excited to have you here live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and LinkedIn. And did we get them all?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, got them all. We're here. We're live every day. We only got about 2 weeks left here of Daily Dropping before we take our little bit of a break over to summer. We'll be back in August, but a little bit of a break. We're excited. We're talking about our theme this week is utilizing outdoor education. Now, we're gonna get into who's coming up this week a little bit later, and we got a specialist in this for sure coming up. But I'm looking at you. You were just talking about like running outside with the kids. Maybe that's outdoor education. I don't know. When I say outdoor education, Dr. Dave, what comes to your mind? What are you visualizing when we talk about this?
Oh, this covers the whole gamut. So I think it goes really from Schmittou to Schnexer. So there's like this, big spectrum. So let me talk about the Schmittou side of things. When I was a classroom teacher, this time of year, I was outside with my kids all the time. We would just have class out at the kickball field or the baseball field in the bleachers, just staring at the sunshine and not staring at the sunshine because that would be bad. We were enjoying the sunshine, staring at the clouds and nature.
Was this when you were in Florida or Michigan or both?
Michigan.
Okay, Michigan. Okay.
Yeah, just enjoying life outside. Similarly, when I was a principal in Florida, mandating recess every single day for kids, where it was kind of restricted by legislation because kids needed to have extra worksheets or something. So, and mandating additional recess, knowing that was better for the kids. Now, that's education in the outdoors. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily outdoor education.
So you were essentially doing the same thing you might have been doing in a classroom, but you were in an outdoor setting because why not enjoy it?
Exactly. So that's the Schmittou side of things. And then it goes all the way to the other side of things when you're outdoors investigating insects and plants and just truly helping kids understand what the outdoors are all about. Whereas for me, it was let's just go outdoors because Dr. S needs a little bit of sun today. So let's go.
And I think if even like my daughter was working on the movement on a line, right, numbers and math and stuff, and her teacher they went outside, they drew, and there was a little bit of art involved in that, but they used it was something they couldn't necessarily do the same. They could do it indoors, but it'd be much smaller, it'd be different. But they were using the entire basketball court, I remember doing it on a football field and stuff. So there's a lot of ways you can utilize it, But even just simply the change of environment, you taking your class outside, hey, let's sit relaxed on picnic tables on the ground under this tree or whatever, versus in a classroom, just going to change it up a little bit for them and allow them to enjoy it. Which is
even
really
if
interesting.
You do this exact same thing outside that you did inside. There's something about being outside that changes that dynamic. So when students are trying to recall the information, they're going to remember sitting outside when they learn that. They're going to remember walking the track when they learn something. And it's you can probably recognize this. You're a music guy. There are a lot of songs where you can remember exactly where you were when you heard it for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
You just pick it up. It's the same thing with school. Oftentimes when we're thinking about something that we learned, we can think of exactly where we were when we learned it. If you give the kids a novel experience, just sitting outside, walking the track, walking around the neighborhood, they're more inclined to remember some things. So,
well, and you just touched the key word there is it's an experience, right? And so it doesn't I think when we say that, it doesn't have to be this massive room transformation or this we're out digging for bugs and going on this amazing adventure. Just the experience can just change. Just changing it a little bit can make it a memorable experience. Then, right? Like you said, we're just out walking on the track. That might trigger in their brain that memory of when they learned that concept because they remember, I was walking on the track with Mr. Schmittou. That's when we did that, and we learned something, and then we ran 100 yards or whatever, things like that.
20 burpees, but absolutely.
Yeah. Now, and this is an honest question. I feel like it's going to come across as me being me, but if you were a class, and I know at least one educator who has had a class that was outdoor all day, every day, that was the class. If you switch it up and took them inside for a day, does it have the same impact in a sense because it's different and you're changing up the experience? So
I can only imagine.
Trigger the mind the same way.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the novelty of it, right? So a simple example. I used to live in Michigan. We'd go on to Florida. It felt like this cool adventure and a cool vacation. Now we live in Florida all the time. So if we go to Michigan, it feels like a cool little vacation and
You're right,
different memories for the kids. So it's all about changing up your stimulus so that your body feels like it's being triggered. You used to run all the time. You went out and did a 4-mile run and it triggered something for you. And that run is going to be what you think about all the time now because it was something different than your new normal. So anytime you can change it up.
I would think if you're in Florida and you have if you run your class outside all day, every day, going inside would be a real treat because air conditioning.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and you're not, you're probably less worried about getting attacked by an alligator if you're indoors. So just saying, that could be fun. Interesting. Okay, let's what do you have anything else to say to this? I thought I cut you off. I apologize.
No, we're good. I know we're going to be talking about what's coming up later on this week because there are some people that are experts on this that are going to be available to have some conversations very, very soon. So that's exciting.
Yeah, let's talk about who's coming up this week because I should have looked, and I can think I only know one of them coming up. So this is going to be entertaining. Welcome back to Daily Drop, and we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn, Monday through Friday. Got my good friend Dr. Dave Schmittou here. We're looking at who's coming in this week, and this is one I usually don't look because I like to be surprised every week when Ray shares this with me. I did look last week at this week because I'm on every day, but then I forgot. Well, I just looked again. Now I'm excited again. So we got a nice crew coming up this week. Tomorrow morning I get to hang out with the one and only Joshua _Stamper.
Double underscore tomorrow? Talk about an upgrade from today. That's amazing.
Yeah, all around. We should just let him do it solo at this point, I think. So Josh, if you don't know Josh, great educator. He's actually our podcast network manager here on the team and does a whole bunch of other stuff for us too. But also a assistant principal in Texas, former art teacher, former special ed teacher. And in Texas, I wonder if they go outside. They probably go outside, right? I wonder if he does. I wonder if how they utilize it. It's hot in Texas too, though. But it's not that humid Florida stuff. They actually have sunshine. They don't do the rain thing.
I'm sure Mark Cuban sponsors a bunch of playground equipment for everybody too. So they probably got lots more than we have here to play with.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. So that'll be fun hanging out with Josh tomorrow. That's pretty cool. On Wednesday, I get to meet a new friend, and that's David Spellman, who's going to be new to our network and to our community. So I'm excited about that to get in. And he replied back. I think he's pumped up to come on. So it'll be fun to kind of dig into his brain and get to know him and explore what he thinks about outdoor education. And then on Thursday, we bring in the sort of the ringer, like the big show,
the closer,
if you will, the closer, Becky Schnexler, who literally wrote the book on outdoor education. And Becky is actually one I mentioned earlier, who did have a whole year where her class was outside that didn't have an indoor classroom. And she does expeditions all over the world, and this is going to be, and I already know she's geeking out. Because she is so excited, I'm sure, to come and just share her passion for that. So that's exciting. And then we round up the week on Friday. I get to hang out with Mr. Outdoorsman himself, Brad Hughes, who's been
out celebrating Victoria Day today.
What's that? Happy Victoria Day to you, Brad. We'll celebrate it again on Friday just for good measure. But that's a good week. We got a good mix. It's gonna be fun.
That's worth waking up early for right there.
That is. And then we will take next Monday off for Memorial Day, and then we're back for the last 4 days of brain break of Daily Drop, and then we get to invite. We're going to bring Ray back in for those last 4, so that's exciting.
Okay.
And actually, next week's the last one of Brain Break too. I just slipped on that too, isn't it?
It is.
This week and next week. Who do we have on Brain Break this week, Dave?
I don't know yet.
Actually, I do know. Oh, we have Debbie Tannenbaum, our friend Debbie, coming on.
Oh wow. Okay.
Debbie is been on network for a while. She's an ambassador. She's part of our Edupreneur Mastermind. She's a tech. I think it's tech integration specialist is her title, or tech coach. Maybe she's a tech coach. I can't remember what her actual title is, but she supports her teachers in her district around technology. So, but we're not going to talk about tech while she's here on Brain Break. We're just going to make her do silly things, I think, for a game or something.
Sounds perfect.
Sounds great. Perfect. We've got enough relationship with Debbie. We can embarrass her the whole time. It'll be great. So we're excited for that. Dave, I really appreciate you being here with me today. I'm going to ask one more favor of you. If you're ready. Are you sure?
No, not at all.
All right. What I'd like to do is I'm going to play another video, and then I want to come back, and I'd really love for you to give us a challenge to take into our week. I want to like take my time on this. I want you to really think through it. And to think through what we should be focused on this week as we're looking at the end of the school year, potentially the last day of the school year today for folks that might be in Florida, and figure out what we're going to do. So you think about that. I'm trying to find the video that is related to this, and I don't think there is one. So I'm just going to play a video, and then we'll come back. How's that sound?
Fair enough.
So as it turns out, I wasn't supposed to play a video there. We're just supposed to go into it.
So fired.
I wonder if Ray knows how lost we are without her.
I'm sure she does. I think she leaves on these vacations just to sit around and make everybody secretly be like, "Oh yeah, we need her."
Just to see. She wants to make sure that we don't think that she's replaceable at all. So yeah, one thing we like to do on Mondays is we like to leave, or it's kind of set the tone of the week with. This was not set the tone of the week, by the way, but set the tone of the week. We want to end the right way with like, what should we focus on? What should we be thinking? What kind of challenge? We want to challenge our community to be focused on something, get something done, or whatever it might be. So Dave, I've given you enough time to think through this. I think, what's a challenge we can kind of issue out to our community today?
Yeah, I'm going to offer kind of two pathways with one common denominator. The denominator is do something different that's going to stretch yourself a little bit this week. So there's a couple of different pathways you can go. We started off our conversation today talking about how you went out and went for a 4-mile run and pushed yourself. It's something that you've done before, but you were in your head for a little bit, wondering whether or not it was something you could do, should do, all those things. But you finally ripped the Band-Aid off and you went out and did it. We also talked a little bit about changing things up in your classroom and taking kids outside or just doing something a little bit different. So I would challenge educators this week to think of something that you can do differently that's going to stretch yourself. In most places, observations are done, state testing is done, all of those big scary things are done. The only thing holding you back from doing something different this week is you. So make a decision, go for that run, make that phone call, take the kids outside, whatever that thing is that you've been wondering if you could do or you should do. This is the week. Go do it. This weekend, you've got 3 days to recover because Memorial Day. So go do that thing this week, whatever it is, go do it. And then let us know it. Celebrate yourself. No matter how big or small you think it is, it's big if it's something that you've been thinking about doing and you haven't done yet. So go do it and celebrate yourself.
That's a good challenge. You are really good at this.
Well, you gave me that extra commercial to think.
That was why I did that. I'm looking out for you. I really like that though, because I think it's really easy for at this point in the year to like just coast it out for the last couple of days or whatever. Right. This is a really good time to challenge yourself. And like Dave said, there's nothing in it being big. It could be something small. Dave, what are you going to do this week to challenge yourself to get out of your comfort zone to change it up?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm thinking like, what am I going to do? I'm like, well, I could easily just say, oh, I'm going to go for 5 miles or whatever. But and maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But
There's always the fitness thing. So I'm going to change up my routine. I've got the days and the workouts that I do every single day. So number one, I'm gonna change that up just because we're talking right now.
You can go for 20.
Yep. I'm also gonna nutritionally. I'm going to only eat for fuel this week, not for fun. So that's gonna be a big one for me. And I'm writing it down because I'm just thinking about it right now, and I probably should have thought this through. But I'm gonna eat for fuel, not for fun.
So that's a big one for you because I know you run so that you don't have to do that.
Correct.
So that's a big one. So it's interesting you bring that up, and we have some more time for us to whatever. And I don't know if anybody else, if you're still watching for some reason, if you do this or not, if anybody watches the calories, counts calories, whatever, but that's something that I've been doing. So about a week and a half ago, Chad and I sort of challenge each other to some weight loss over the next few months and stuff, really for the rest of this year. And, Chad's crazy. He counts every calorie and all the other little things you see on the back of box that I don't understand, whatever, look at all the macros stuff that he looks at. But like I've been doing that and set a very low calorie count to max out at, which has been extremely uncomfortable for last week. Continue this week. And the reason I'm setting it so low is that's not where I'm going to be. It's what I'm trying to train myself to be okay with.
Yeah.
Feel a little hunger, not needing as much to fill up and stuff. And I've lost 4 pounds in a week from doing that. Actually, I'm wavering. I think it's gonna be a little bit less. So like I'm doing that as well. I'm trying to think. I'm like, maybe I should just switch it up and I'll eat for fun this week instead. No, but like the way you phrase it, no,
right? That's like taking your body outside.
Yeah, the way you phrase it, that's an interesting way, and I think that's like that you eat for fuel versus for fun. I think that's one of the things that makes it so hard for us to do stuff like that, is because it tastes good. It is fun. Like we do it when we're sad. We do it when we're happy. We do it to celebrate. We do it like to mourn. Like
feel sad because you're like, I shouldn't have done that. So
I know, but if you just eat like purely for like, oh, I gotta eat. I got 5 minutes. I gotta get in. Boom, done. Like interesting. I like that, Dave. I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna go to 5 because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, nah, I don't need to do 5 this week based on my where I'm at and training and stuff. I'm like, I can just stick low and do it in another week or so. I'm like, I'm gonna push to at least 5. We'll see. I got 10K scheduled for the 5th of June. So which 6'2", so I'm getting there, but we'll see. So, anyway, love to see. I got people dropping in saying goodbye. Saying thank you, trying to track my okay. So Patty does the macros. That's the stuff that Chad does, all that. But Chad knows my mind. He's like, look, dude, none of that matters if you're not worried about all that other stuff. He goes, it's just calories. Like, get your calories. The way he broke down, he goes, we broke down the calories of like a donut and 2 slices of pizza. He goes, you could eat a donut and 2 slices of pizza every single day. Like if that was all you ate, you would lose weight. He goes, you'd feel like crap, but you'd lose weight. Because you'd be extremely unhealthy, but you lose weight. He said, so just focus on your calories. Don't worry about what it is. But what I found is when I focus on that, I'm much more aware of what I'm eating.
Yeah.
And because things like a share size bag of peanut butter M&Ms, turns out it has a lot of calories too. I would have thought. Also not good on the sugar count. But anyway, excited, Dave. I'm excited to hear how that goes for you and your eating, and I'm rooting for you because I know that's going to be a tough one.
So grumpy later on.
I know you're going to be so. I'm not looking forward to brain break when you're 3 days in and all hangry and stuff. But which fun story? I'm sorry. I know we're going to go, but there's a story like when Chad first went like to keto and stuff. Like he was basically starving himself to get himself where he needed to be. And Chad used to eat for fuel, but he needed a lot of fuel. So we're there, and like it was one of our team members there, and like Chad was just a little quick. It was like 1 o'clock. He hadn't eaten anything but like a hard boiled egg or something. And he walked away, and she's like, "Is he mad at me?" And I'm like, "No, he's just really hungry right now." She's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, like he's hangry. Like that's a legit thing, man." So I am not looking forward to brain break. Like you should be like put some flavor in your water or something so it tricks you before we get into brain break. We'll do there.
I'll save my meal for that day until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah.
Well, anyway, I hope if you're watching, I hope you're thinking of something that you can do this week to change it up, to challenge yourself, to mix it up a little bit. Maybe you'll eat for fuel instead of fun. Maybe you'll go for a run. Maybe you'll take a class outside or try something new in there or whatever it might be. But we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you if you're listening on the Teach Better Talk podcast. And hopefully you'll be back tomorrow morning with myself and the one and only Joshua, _ Stamper. I have to say it that way. But we are excited that you joined us. Appreciate you. Have an amazing week. Dave, thanks for hanging out with me, brother.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure.
We'll see y'all.